There are many different viewpoints here, and you might hear some questions or ideas that maybe you like or maybe you don't like. But in order to make it the most efficient discussion for everybody, let's just try to be respectful, not shout anybody down or anything like that, because it wastes time. And sometimes we're going to be voting in the fall, and either the things you like to hear or don't like will ultimately help you decide which way you will vote. Now, before we start, just an idea. I want to get a show of hands. How many people intend to ask a question? I just want to get a feel. Raise your hand, please. Okay, not too many so far. In order to be heard, I'm going to ask Lynn that maybe 4 or 5 at a time come up and line up here, and they can ask the question using the microphone, because it's very important that the audience hear your question. So who wants to be first? All right, let's hear from this way. This is for questions. Who wants to ask a question?
I do. No, Jack.
No. Well, candidates can't ask questions of the other candidates, I was just told, so.
I'm not a candidate. Thank you.
Well, maybe I'll walk around and question. I'll work my way back this way. Okay, our first question.
Good evening, everyone. The question is, what do you know about Ferry Point, and what are you going to do to help and support Ferry Point community?
Do you direct the question to a specific candidate? Okay, we'll start from left to right. That's your question, right? Yes. Did everyone hear the question?
No.
Okay, we'll have a try.
You can repeat it, Jack.
Hello.
Yeah, shout into it.
I wanted to ask all of them if they would be so kind as to answer the question. I'm from Ferry Point. I'm president of the Ferry Point Civic Association. Some of you I know, some I don't know. My question to you is, we have a lot of overdevelopment in our community. Now, what are you going to do for our community to support it, to correct what's wrong, if anything, you think so? So some of you know the community.
Thank you for the question. We'll go left to right here. We'll start with John Serini, and you can either answer or pass.
I'll answer. So, one of the biggest issues that I have is overdevelopment. My platform, and I definitely believe that what they've done to you, bringing the Target Mall there, not only killed small business on East Tremont, it put a lot of small businesses out of business, but it also brought more congestion to your community. A lot of people don't even realize that there's a homeowner association down there, and I know that you do a tough job to get the word out, and I applaud you for that. But I think that the homeowners down there deserve more respect. You guys have to deal with the broken streets from all the trucks, the parking of the trucks, and I know that recently the police department has been trying to help get rid of those trucks, but I'm sure regardless, the trucks continuously park there, laying idle, giving you guys exhaust. You already have the bridge and the noise and the backup every time there's traffic on the weekends, I'm sure. So definitely, Ferry Point deserves to be respected more than it currently is. So one of the things that I am fighting is the overdevelopment. I have no contractors, developers that are, saying to me, John, I'll give you X amount of dollars if you stand behind, what we do. I don't think that's the right way to run a campaign. I am going against developers and killing our community. No matter where the building is, whether it's Ferry Point, Throggs Neck, Locust Point, City Island, Alton Avenue, we need to have less development, less congestion, less pollution, and better living for the people of your area.
Thank you, John. I'm sorry I didn't mention to the candidates. We're going to limit the question to 1 minute. It may not be enough time to answer the thing quickly, but for the in view of the time involved, we'll go for 1 minute each person, okay? Thank you, John.
Thank you for the question, Joanne. And the first thing I'm going to do, if I'm fortunate to be your city council person, is sit down and have a meeting with you. Because for me, the neighborhood comes first. And our civic groups in particular have been on the forefront of so much to protect the quality of life of our community, and I know you do it quite well. As you know, you and I worked together to try to bring alternate side parking to Ferry Point a couple of years back. Unfortunately, thwarted by a district manager who didn't listen to us. I'm glad he's not there anymore. I also think that when Pepsi came in, I arranged for you to have a sit down with Pepsi so they got to know who the leaders are in the community, know who you are, know what you're about. and again, know what the problems are in the community. You're more of an expert on your block than I could ever be. So the question is getting the right people into the room and listening. Doing twice as much listening than you do talking. Tonight's probably not the best example of that for me, but overall I think I try to conduct myself that way. Finally, again, protecting your quality of life. I worked with Annie and others when there was a sex offender that moved into the Capri Lounge who, again, had a violent crime against children. We made sure we got that out in the media. That person was relocated. And that's what I would do. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Mark?
Great question, Joanne, and you have a unique neighborhood that you have represented and fought for a long time. I'm grateful to you, and many people here are, and those people that live in that area are also grateful to you. Overdevelopment, quality of life, you will have issues that impact very people, including the Capri Hotel. That should have never occurred. But I do commend the people in this room that when the Capri Hotel came into place for homelessness, the people in this room gathered and collected and donated to make sure that they got the service they needed. It should have never been built. We could have used that property much more efficiently to complement the neighborhood and the community that you live in. I promise you, when I become your city councilman, you won't have those tractor trailers parked there overnight. I personally will be out there with you.
Thank you, Mark. Alex?
Good evening, Joan. I apologize for what's happened to you over the last 20 years, specifically over the last 12 years. The community board, the elected officials, those are the people who you need to hold accountable. And those are the ones who actually are to blame for the overdevelopment and for the traffic and for selling out your space, your surrounding, your neighborhood to the big dollars. And there's nothing else we can say, but yes, it's their fault. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones who make the decisions, they're the ones who bless them, and then the developers get to do whatever they want to do. And unfortunately, it's not only happening in your neighborhood, it's happening in mine, it's happening all over the Bronx and all over New York City. And it's affecting us from all sides. I bought a home 7 years ago in Throggs. I'm a homeowner. I know what it is. I see it around me. I see houses propping up, people not respecting the space, the property lines. And unfortunately, you have trucks in and out of that neighborhood. I was one of the only first ones to say and protest that Trump link. Maybe you might not agree with me, but I was against it. Not only because Trump was what he represents, but because that space could have been used for a better purpose. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Victor, please.
One of my first orders is to take a look at the recreational area and try to build the state-of-the-art Olympic-sized racetrack there that will benefit the boys and girls in that community. We don't have enough recreation centers in this neighborhood. A lot of our kids are lost in the streets, and I feel that if we would develop the park properly, the children can benefit there. I think what happened with the Trump links is a total atrocity. We got all that land, they didn't pay any taxes. We should have charged them taxes so it would bring down our taxes, our sewer bills, and all the other bills that we have to pay as homeowners. Also, I also believe that the shelter there was misplaced. When a person goes to a shelter, we want them to get back into life, to find employment, to find housing. I think it doesn't benefit the people there because they can't get back into society. And that's a big problem. You go to a homeless shelter, and many of us are living check to check. We can get sick. You go to a shelter, you want to get rebuilt, you want to get back into the community, back into the society. But I feel honestly, in that area, I think it was overdeveloped. And I think these guys, Pepsi Cola and the other guys, need to pay their fair taxes so that our taxes can come down. So I would administrate and legislate that policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Virgilio?
Thank you. Joanne, it's going to get worse. Joanne, you know the Simone, same company that has constructed the plaza, the shopping center there, is looking to buy Monsignor Scanlon Catholic School, and they're looking to develop that. They're trying to find another location for the school to replace it. But it even gets worse. They bought the other set, Waters Place, they put one whole section there. Now we're gonna have another development. They bought 33 acres about a year and a half ago from the state. They're gonna build another mall. It's gonna be medical mall type of scenario there with additional. So we got a mall there, we got one on Bel Road. And this Simone Industry is very powerful. Simone Industry gave over $150,000 to Senator Klein's campaign coffers. $150,000. They've contributed to Mr. Joanna's campaign. Everyone's in the same clique. I don't know if they contribute to anybody else at the table. Maybe they want to say so. But in reference to overdevelopment, what I've done, a year and a half ago, we went and protested in front of Parkview. And we protested the overdevelopment of Bureau Avenue in there. Now what we're going to do, what I have done already. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Ms. Velasquez, please.
Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you again. For folks that don't know, Joanne and I actually serve on the cab at what used to be the Capri Motel, and it is now the Crystal Palace Family Residence. And so when we're talking about the needs, it's being there in the forefront. It's actually sitting down and holding folks accountable for every single cab meeting, and we're holding management accountable. We ask for how are you treating the residents there, or how they call them clients. We look forward to taking care of the families there, and we fight together. It's not what we're gonna do, it's what we have done together, and I have enjoyed my time with you, Joanne, and I look forward to continuing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marjorie. As you can see, that's only one question so far. You're behaving and acting very well, very considerate. Thank you so much for that. Two things. This procedure is evolving. We're going to, the next question, we're going to extend it from 60 seconds to 90 seconds. And when I get the next question, I'm probably going to entertain it from on this side of the room, because there's one here before. You know, when I start over there, it gives the person on the end of the table longer time to think of an answer. So to be fair, because we're very fair, we're going to start on this end here at the next question. May I entertain a question? Gentleman in the black shirt. And please speak loud and clear to this, okay?
How you doing? Thanks for being here. You know, it's been mentioned a few times that we don't have enough police officers. I'd like to know from each candidate how involved and how much you are with the police department or know the police officials. I understand that once a month the 45th has a public meeting. I wonder how many of you actually attend the public meetings once a month and how often? Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful question, sir. Thank you. We will start, as I said, with Marjorie Velasquez.
So I know the police department pretty well. Besides actually going to the meetings, I also have participated in the breakfast where we provide funds for the police precinct council so we can have better community relations. And so what we're looking at though, is that our police department does need to expand. We need more bodies here. We actually need to look forward to rezoning our district. I'm sick and tired of us sharing our 45th precinct with Co-op City. We need to look forward to holding the city accountable and say we need more officers and fighting for that because our district needs it. Thank you.
Very good. Only 37 seconds. Thank you. So.
Of course I'm going to answer it. Yeah. I'm glad Ms. Velasquez has touched on Co-op City. I asked Captain Ria, the former captain of the 45th precinct, at a meeting, at a precinct council meeting, to have a subdivision and to subdivide the district and have Co-op City its own. She said it was outside her pay scale. That's fine, but it's not outside the next councilman. And I raised it before, I'm going to raise it again. If I'm elected, Co-op City will make a big difference by having a substation there. It will we'll have more patrol officers and cars in our areas. And in addition to that, please remember something. It's your councilman. Why we do not have enough police officers in our precinct? At the end of the day, it's the budget. The budget is approved by your councilman. Your councilman approves how many police officers are spread out. So I find some irony when I see it in front of the Bronx Times saying Vaca's fighting for more cops, but we don't have any more cops. It doesn't make sense. The budget is passed by the city council. Whoever you elect, let's hope the person has a mouth to stand up and to speak up for your community. That's the only solution. Very simple. You need a councilman that has enough courage to stand up to City Hall. Thank you.
We're going back to the warning bill just to help the candidates.
Hello, everyone. I spoke to the captain last week and wanted to organize a new policy. As your next city council member, I'm going to develop a policy, a legislative policy that's going to pass the city council, it's going to get signed by the mayor, that's going to say no, say something. Now that policy, working with the police department, will help filter out the drugs in the community that are destroying City Island, Throggs, Allington, and all the neighborhoods. We need to work closer, we need to have a better relationship with the police department, and they can do their job more effective. I don't think any of the panel here is writing any thinking of legislation that's going to affect the community. And this is what you guys need to hire. You need to hire one of us that's going to create the policies that's going to help the community. We know that in certain buildings, there are drug dealers. And we know that the developers and the owners of the buildings know that these guys are selling drugs. And we need to let the police officers know they gotta get in there and get them out. But we can't do that if the developer, the owner of the building is in cahoots with the people and destroying the community. There's background checks. And so these people move in, they destroy the community, and nothing happens. Look at the projects. They got overheads, barriers there, the cops can't get in, the kids hide, they're selling drugs and stuff like that. It needs to stop. It destroys the quality of life in the neighborhood. Please select the person who can create the policies that can effectively clean and fix the community. Who's proposing that? I don't know. I think I am. Go for me.
Well, I'm going to start by saying I have attended several of those meetings over the last couple of years. I know that some of my opponents here actually sit on the community council precinct board. And every time I've gone to those meetings, the only person I can honestly say that is here besides myself is Mr. Doyle and sometimes Mr. And I'm going to be an honest man and say that that's the honest to God truth. And about truth.
I see him there.
And he sees my daughter there too, right?
That's right.
So yes, I care about this community, and I think that there's a misunderstanding on who's using and abusing these drugs and who's actually selling them. And it's, listen, I grew up in the South Bronx. I came here at the age of 5. My mom is here today, and because of her, I am who I am. She raised three wonderful children who went to college on her own. She did it all by herself. And if I take a moment just to acknowledge that, she didn't have the help and the support, it was all on her own. But I tell you, I grew up in a tough neighborhood. I saw the drugs on the street. I saw who was selling. But the drug dealers nowadays are not the ones that we thought or we think of. They're actually driving cars, delivering pizzas with drugs inside of those boxes. So if you think it's the person on the corner who's dark-skinned, it's not truly that person anymore. The problem exists with the people that live around you. It's the person that lives across from you, next to you, behind you. So we do need to correct that so-called stigma. It's not the black or the Latino, it's everybody who's it's affecting. And we need to make sure that we get the help for everyone. And I do support expanding the police department here, and we do need to hold Mr. Vaca accountable for what he didn't do the last 12 years. So if you want more of Jimmy Vaca, then you can vote for Jimmy Vaca's candidate. But if you don't want Jimmy Vaca, then you need to start voting for someone who's really progressive. Thank you so much.
It's a great question. We live in been a relatively safe community. We need to make it safer. Because it is safe compared to most